Hello, I'm here with Smitha Raphael, Chief Product and Delivery Officer for SnapFulfil and one of the winners of this year's Women in Supply Chain Award, presented by Supply and Demand Chain Executives. Smitha, first off, congratulations on this win. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, and happy to talk with you as well.
So why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your company?
Yep, absolutely. So, Synergy North America it is a warehouse management product company. Our headquarters is in the UK. It's actually our 50th anniversary. And so, we've been in the business for 50 years, opened up in the US about 11, 12 years ago. And have been bringing out products in the warehousing industry. A little bit about myself. I actually have a background in electrical engineering. So my degree or schooling is in electrical engineering, and then a master's of business administration. And then, surprisingly enough, so the supply chain industry actually was a big draw, in particular warehousing and order fulfillment. Um, Before joining Synergy, I actually worked at a company called iTech for American Port Services, working with Schneider National Transportation in that area. And then just have worked my way up from IT systems analyst, technical analyst, etc., all the way into project management, and then product delivery now.
So what attributes do you think a successful supply chain leader should have?
You definitely say patience and a lot of it. The supply chain industry is, extremely dynamic. Just last year alone, just because of all the socioeconomic conditions, things changed. Stuff not being shipped out from, let's say, China, causing delays in the U.S. So it's a big thing, and one really needs to be able to think on their feet, come up with new creative solutions, because it's a different problem every week. And but at the same time, it's interesting, and so I think as long as you have, you know, just patience and the will to be ready to adapt, I think that's the main attribute that you would need to be successful in this industry.
So what are some of the challenges that you have faced in the industry and how have you worked to overcome them?
So I'll actually answer that in a two-part way. One, just industry specific. Again, just with the way things keep changing, and because currently we worked with companies all around the world globally, and be it just warehousing or international logistics and supply chain, the culture plays a huge part in all of this. And you'll find that warehouses, let's say in North America, because of large spaces, they require different processes from warehouses, maybe say in Hong Kong, where the smaller places, and so being able to take the same product and make it work across. So again, that being able to adapt to different countries and regions and cultures has been a big challenge, and so that's really mainly the supply chain industry. I would say as a woman, yeah, that's a little interesting because um, being from an engineering background, anyway, face challenges, electrical engineering, not very many women electrical engineers. So I think just being able to get your voice and opinion across, I have found that it's easier, when you kind of, your actions speak, right, louder than anything else. And I've been fortunate enough, where I've had mentors, etc., push me towards areas that may have been a little challenging in the supply chain industry, for a woman to get her point across. But yeah, so far it's been very good.
So to kind of piggyback a little bit on that, what is it like being a woman in a traditionally male dominated industry?
Um, I think the biggest thing that one would need to look out for is the fear of speaking up. I have noticed it in a number of areas that you walk into a warehouse and it's forklift drivers and pallet pickers, etc., and it's predominantly male, and for the most part it becomes easy for people to say, well, she's a woman, what would she know about loading a truck up or shipping, etc. And I think so that, but that kind of goes away the moment you're able to speak up very clearly and actively around processes and reason with why this works better than another process, etc. And I think again, just your actions and the end result um, uh, being a good one helps. But number one, do not be afraid to speak out if you see something you don't agree with. uh, I mean, the worst case scenario is that you may be wrong, but who isn't? So
So why do you think more women should be involved in the industry, and what can companies do to recruit and retain more talented women?
well, I think women, like almost any other industry, but in particular probably supply chain, just because we are a minority in this industry, we kind of bring diverse or different opinions. And I've always found that in a room, when you have all sorts of experience, whether it's gender or culture, etc. The more opinions, the more solutions, and different ideas that come up. It's easier to get to an end result or a solution to a problem. Women do tend to be very creative, and that helps a lot in the supply chain industry. How do we get through shipping this type of item when there's a shortage of labor in this area and things like that. They do come up with very innovative ideas. That's one reason. The second reason actually is, I think, just like leadership, right? I think there was statistics, and correct me if I'm wrong, that I read somewhere where even though in supply chain industry 41% of women are now women, executive level, leadership level, that we're still lagging. And I think that's an area we need more supply chain women, because the other area that women excel in is leadership. We're able to show the empathy or understanding in areas that's really stressful, and warehousing logistics extremely stressful, but be able to think with a clear mind, as well as be understand to work the worker's situation, is very important. And I think that's another reason why we should definitely have more women in the supply chain industry.
So what advice do you have for those first starting out in the industry?
Yep, absolutely. I think it is the first thing, really, as mentors or to get more women into the industry, is we need to be able to provide opportunities of mentorship, support, education, courses, etc., to help a woman be more comfortable, be more confident, and get more involved, not just at an entry level, but to be able to build, her career in the supply chain industry, and then kind of give back to the industry in the same way. So that's really important. And then also in terms of attributes as well, just be a go-getter. I think be yourself. Do not be afraid to speak up. If you need help, ask for it, because every single person, be it man or woman, however experienced you are, because I mean, just look at this past year, COVID. Who would have ever thought something like COVID would have such a huge impact on the supply chain industry, and nobody prepared for it. You couldn't have, and we all had to come up with new, ideas and processes to circumvent circumstances. So, um, just be able to come up with, new ideas. Yeah, I think those are the main attributes one needs to have.
So, how does it feel to be named one of supply and demand chain executives' top women in supply chain?
It feels amazing. I'm honestly, I'm extremely honored. Most so, I think, because the nomination came from my peers as well. People within Synergy being excited. Colleagues, ex-colleagues, people I've worked with, clients, etc., have all reached out, and so I think that it's an absolute honor, and I think more importantly, it's rewarding simply because the past 2 years has been really difficult in terms of all the supply chain challenges, and with us being able to bring out products or delivery successfully. um, I think having this just kind of spurs on the other women I know definitely at my organization, and I'm sure in the industry, right, to see how we can do better kind of next year. So yeah, no, thank you for it.
Well, congratulations again, Smitha Raphael, Chief Product and Delivery Officer for Synergy SnapFulfil, and one of the recipients of Supply and Demand Chain Executives Women in Supply Chain Award. To learn more about Smitha, go to sdcexec.com.